Hold on a minute. Hold on. Oh, it's yourself! Welcome to another episode of Drams on the Run, live for Brighton. Now I need to go before I get arrested for binoculars on the beach. Cheers! Welcome to Brighton. Sussex by the sea. A British landmark, a place of many holiday delights, sunnier climes, and basically just a really cool place to visit on the coast. The Brighton's not too big, you can get around it pretty easily, but I figured, you know what? It's hard to find a good pub with a good whiskey selection, and I was inspired by this old boy on the beach searching. I thought, let's go searching for pubs with good whiskey. So we kicked it off. We went into the city centre, right into the what they called the North Lanes, and there's plenty of pubs about here. These are just a few wee selections of nice wee boozers, and then there's probably one that when I mentioned it to a few people, they looked at me as if I'd shat my hands and clapped. This pub, maybe don't go in there. However, we're going to kick this off and we're going to start at the Great Eastern. Now the Great Eastern's located on Trafalgar Street. It's at the top end of the North Lanes, and in here they were traditionally known as a whiskey pub. I spoke to the barman and they had this great selection of bourbons. Now don't get me wrong, it's not like super extensive collection of bourbons, but it's far better than most other pubs you go into. They had some whiskies, Scotch whiskies, they had a couple of Irish, some Japanese, clocked that, Akashuku, 12, if that's how you pronounce it. So that was quite a good one to start with. So definitely recommend going in there if you want a few bevies. But up the street is Brighton's probably most comprehensive whiskey selection. This is Cut Your Wolf Loose. Now if you know anything about whiskey in the kind of southern England scene, you know this place. They have their own bottlings, part owned by the guys behind the Whiskey Baron. Tons of selection. So I'm going to shut up here and I'm just going to let you see the bottles. We started with Thompson Brothers at the top end. You can see some Charlton, and then they just keep going on. And these are all priced by the dram. As you can see, it's a pretty comprehensive selection of new and old bottles, good selection. It's just a lovely little bar. They're doing cocktails in there now as well. They do live music, they do tastings, and as you can see here, they've got good bourbon. They get the BTAC selection up the top here. Pause if you want to see the prices. They've got their own bottlings. They've got some Irish, what you've got here, and then they also have their own casks. And these are all cask bottlings of casks that are available. You can clock, if you pause it, you'll see some really interesting cask selections there. I think there's a Springbank up there as well. This is a bottle selection for sale. Not huge, they're not an off license of such, but you do get some decent bottles. Got a few Ardnamurchans Merkins in here, Lindors, as I said, their own bottles, some Charlton, some merch. It's not huge, but then you've got downstairs as well. I've never been down. This is my first time down the stairs in here. So it's obviously during the day. I'm not drinking at this point. I'm just having a wander around other places. Nice, cozy. This is where they hold their tastings. Again, you can get all these drams here. Don't sell it by the bottle. These are by the dram. You've got the Charltons, more Thompson Brothers and frequent flyers. You get some kind of... I'm not sure what the smaller bottles were. So maybe somebody in the comments can leave me and let me know if they know what these are. Samples. I think these are ones that are available, drams or bottles, for sale. Down there you've got the Thompson Brothers blend up there, or the Merck and Cask strengths. Then in the corner, these are more dram bottles, and they've got their own ones. They also had, which I never knew, they have a little courtyard out here at the back, which is a bit of a wee... It's not really a sun trap because the way that everything's built up around it. It gets really warm. It's a great summer spot if you want to come have a couple of whiskey cocktails. Now round the corner, as you're in the North Lanes, you head down and round. You'll know these streets if you wander Brighton. It's not a big place, it's not a big shop area, and you'll be able to find your way about. There's the Wagon and Horses. I was recommended this. A couple of people told me to go in here, and I thought, right, what have you got? Look at a whiskey menu. Who knew? An actual whiskey menu. Now again, I'm going to shut up here and let you peruse it as I go through it here. What I did notice was, yes, it's a menu, it's not constantly updated, so they do have bottles behind the bar that aren't in the menu. And what you've got to understand is, if you're in these pubs and bars with your friends, not everybody wants a whiskey bar, but you might want a dram, and you come into a place like this that has a really robust selection of whiskies, bourbons. They have the gins and rums and good beers and whatever. It's just really refreshing to be able to find something decent on the shelves. That green Blanton's, I hadn't really seen that before. I decided I saw the old bit of it, and I thought I couldn't get a wee dram of that. And I swung by Fiddler's Elbow in the hope that they might have some Irish whiskey. They never really had much whiskey, but I can say they do have
it's supply,
the best
it's
pint of Guinness,
suppliers like kind
and
of
probably
like
the south of
very
England,
tight.
and I include London in that. Now it was time to go back, rest up, have a wee wander down to the beach, maybe grab a wee bit of food. So we went to the Tempest Inn on the beach. I grabbed the chicken Caesar sub, fantastic. Watched the boat go by, let that wee boat go, great. And then it was time to get out and have some drams on the move. Now the reason I show you this is you want to head towards the Brighton 360i and cut down this lane, Queensberry Mews. You get here, you turn, and what do you have? But this little place here, the hole in the wall. Now, if you can't find it, you need to find the 360, and you get there. Now, this is a really famous independent beer bar, which I'd never heard of. I go to Brighton a lot, never heard of it. Came in. I'm not drinking beer at the moment, which I was gutted about, but amazing selection of beers. The whiskies, it was alright. Not a huge amount, but like a decent wee amount. And I was kicking off. The green spot was tempting, but I decided, you know what, I'll start with a bourbon. I love my Four Roses single barrel. $6.70 for 50ml. I thought that was actually decent value. And then I was like, right, up the hill, cut your wolf loose. I clocked some of these bottles when I was in earlier. I wanted the Ben Nevis. I wanted to try the Cut Your Wolf Loose first edition Lafroig blend. And then I had a Karen Heavily Peated batch 8. Then it was on the move again, and I thought, I never went to the Great Eastern, but I wanted to hit somewhere that wasn't open during the day, which was Brighton Rocks, and I'd heard quite a lot of good stuff about this, especially the whiskey selection. Surprisingly, again, this was in Kent Town. I got there, clocked Stag on the shelf, so kick off with that. Then the barman, Dan, I believe his name is, shout out to Dan, really nice guy. He said, here, let me get you a whiskey, and he got me that High West Campfire, which was lovely. First time I've had it, really nice. And then he said, here, do you want to go behind the bar and have a look at all the selection? So I was able to go along and just video it all. So again, I'm going to be quiet and let you guys see what's there. Now the cocktail making in this place is phenomenal as well. I watched Dan make a couple. Definitely get over here, and anybody will enjoy themselves in here, whiskey drinkers or not. And then it was night time, it was bedtime, it was time to head back along the road to the hotel. And that was Brighton, guys. So a few pubs where you can get a decent whiskey.